All right. Let's go ahead and see if everything is in gear here properly. Just take that down there and just working on our sound balance here real fast, and then we'll go ahead and get started. All right. Good morning, folks. My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online, and we are creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. We're making an Eberron adventure called Crystals of Mabar. You can see the book cover here. Today we are working on character illustrations for Scouts of the Silver Flame, venturing into the Carnwood of Karnath, searching for a necromantic artifact. So if you think artwork, Eberron and stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. And here's a bunch of books that I've created on the DMsGuild already that are all free preview. This will be as well. So let's drop this down here and pop open. Here's Photoshop, and let's go ahead and get started. So actually, we worked on this character yesterday, so we're going to continue working on this character now. Drop that down there like that. Let's bring in the shield. That feels like a good location. So I do art Monday through Friday in the mornings. I do game design on Mondays and Thursday nights and Tuesday, Friday lunches. Last night we began the process of reviewing the Spelljammer combat and exploration mechanics that we had created using the 5e14 rules, and we're in the process of upgrading Spelljammer to the 5e24 rules. And to complement that, we're creating subclasses for Spelljammer for all 14 classes using 5e24 rules, and that will be bundled with the Spelljammer combat and exploration mechanics once we complete it. So at lunch today, in about 10 hours or so, we'll be back on to work on both Barbarian and Bard Spelljammer classes. So if you're into 5e, if you're into D&D, if you're into game design, if you're into artwork, stick around. That's what we do here. So I hope everyone's having a good morning. I feel bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after a decent night's sleep. Let's see if it helps the pixels flow. There we go. There's a number of NPCs in this adventure that the characters can meet or compete against. They can provide clues and guidance if necessary. Hey, Hornetica, how you doing, my guy? Long time no see, my man. Hope life is treating you well. I'm excited about the new year. Once we finish up the Martial Powers Mega Dungeon that we've been running on my Discord, we'll be switching gears and building out Storm King's Thunder into a Spelljammer campaign that we can use both the Bastion campaign mechanics as well as the Mecha Kaiju rules that we've been building for Spelljammer, so that our characters can run around in 50-foot mecha fighting gigantic monsters, protecting asteroid communities from space doom. I think it has a decent XCOM 2 sort of opportunity, like to create that format of game where there's a number of different locations within the asteroid community that all have like their different settlements on them that get attacked by pirates, monsters, whatever. and the character's job is to fend off the battle, fend off the monsters, and to also help coordinate trade and resources between the different communities. So I think there's a lot of I like thinning them down a little bit like that. I think that helps with the dynamics of this character. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, to running that as a playtest campaign. It won't be as formal as like fully realized characters and bold role-playing opportunities and stuff. It's more about running the mechanics of the systems that we're working on. But I think there's a lot of potential fun to be had with it. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be probably in the new year that we're working on that. So at some point here, I'll be my design streams will be shifting to like making the maps for the communities, as well as for the flying the Dwarven Citadel. That's going to be the base and vessel that the characters use to move from location to location. It'll also be like in XCOM 2. It'll be a drop ship for the characters in their mecha to then be dispatched to defend the different communities. So I think there's a lot of potential there for a fun little action kit. But I want to get, I need to make sure that I get the Spelljammer rules updated for 24 so that we can properly implement the playtest campaign. So the work that we're doing on Spelljammer right now is necessary for the campaign that we'll be running, that we'll be using to iron out any of the Mecha Kaiju mechanic rules that we plan to implement, and as an extension, publish to accompany and bundle with the Spelljammer combat and exploration mechanics themselves. So exciting times. 2026 should prove to be a fun year. I'm really looking forward to it. All this is on my Discord server, which is linked down below. Anyone is welcome to tag through and say hi. Let's do like that. Thank you, Soundly Timer. Pre-transform. Let's get that angle. That feels pretty good. Fix his hand. There we go. Get the angle that we need. There we go. Meh. Free transform. Tilt this. So in my Eberron Spelljammer asteroid belt mining campaign, the team has discovered a wormhole has opened up in one of the territories that they control. They don't know the origins of it, but the mining organizations, we call it Hub, is the bureaucracy, a trade commission that oversees licensing rights to different quadrants of orbit, or rather zones of orbit, for characters for different organizations to mine asteroids in. They're attempting to commandeer, basically eminent domain claim, the territory of space that the team has purchased to explore and experiment on the wormhole. The characters have been exploring and experimenting on the wormhole themselves, so they're not very keen on giving it up to the bureaucrats. But so their next mission is going to be a diplomacy mission where they're attempting to negotiate control of the wormhole, and they don't think they're gonna win the argument, but they are jockeying for position to gain preferential treatment and to collaborate with Hub over exploring and experimenting on the wormhole, since they've already started the work. So hey, what's up? Hey, Fox. Hide the weird creatures. The Silver Flame is in town. It's good to see you, my guy. Yeah, we can't have them look like Silver Flame, because Silver Flame is not welcome in Karrnath. It could be viewed as a violation of recent treaties at the end of the last war. So but they know that there's a manifest zone to Mabar that's so powerful that it could put Corvair at risk. And so the Silver Flame, being the zealots that they are, feel it's their responsibility to get involved. So they send scouts in to try to find out what's going on and, if necessary, resolve the issue. But they've gone missing. The Silver Flame lost them. So the plot hook here is for your characters to finish the job that they started, find out what's going on, shut it down if possible, and please rescue our missing scouts. They dare not send more Silver Flame Crusaders in after the ones that they've lost, because that would definitely become an incident. So it's assumed in the adventure that the characters are not Silver Flame affiliated, but are willing to work with them on a mercenary basis. Normally, the Silver Flame stays pretty close to the chest on who they trust with dangerous missions, wanting to make sure that they're flame brethren. But this is a sensitive matter that needs an external, impartial hand that doesn't have any obvious ties to the Silver Flame in case things continue to go off rail. But they'll plane shift you to the edge of the They can't get into the manifest zone through plane shift, but they can get you. Right up to there, and then it's your job to then go into the manifest zone and try to find the missing scouts, who of course have been captured. Their identity has not yet been revealed. There's not much interrogation going on the side of the Emerald Claw, because the Zealots just look like just random adventuring schmucks. Small town village schmucks is the persona that they're attempting to simulate. And no one is questioning that identity, but they're also going to get killed, sacrificed to the ritual that's being used to create the manifest zone that the Silver Flame was rightfully concerned about. And depending on how the DM wants to play it, some of them could have escaped and were trying to find a way to rescue their allies when your characters stumble upon them, and what a blessing. Let's go. The characters could be using a different plot hook and have no awareness of the Silver Flame's involvement at all. But when they get to where the hostages are being held for sacrifice, that's when they can start finding out exactly who all is trapped up in this thing, and potentially have some allies as sidekicks, or at worst distractions to help create chaos inside of the facilities while the characters take care of business. A lot of fun potential there. Some role-playing opportunities, and if the DM wants the characters to get involved in the Silver Flame, this is a great entry point, because they're zealots. They don't necessarily show their hand on the kind of stuff that they're working on, but if you become trusted, then they can become quest givers for all sorts of fun stuff. There you go. Hey, what's up? Silver Flame, a great example of lawful bad guys. Yeah, no kidding, right? Eberron's a great world. It's such a world of layered grayness that any organization can both be operating in the positive and negative at the same time. Silver Flame's a great example of that. Demon possession is so prominent in Eberron that they made subclasses and templates in not subclasses, prestige classes and creature templates in 3rd edition for characters to portray possessed people or to be a possessing entity themselves. So there is no shortage of evil in Eberron, and I'm going to merge this down. And the Silver Flames, their primary function is to exorcise demons from people, and it's prominent in that it can get into political leaders, religious leaders. It's pernicious. And the Silver Flame has a legitimate role in resolving that, but it also can lead to incredible corruption. And they can be very black and white in their stance towards, say, shifters that are partial lycanthropes, which also disguise themselves. So they don't like changelings either, because they're deceptive in their true form. So basically anything that is masquerading as something else, generally the Silver Flame is going to want to axiom strike those guys and reveal their true identities to thwart whatever quote-unquote evil plans they perceive them as having, whether they're evil or not. So that's the blind zealotry that you can see from religious fervor, which I think the Silver Flame is really, really good for depicting. But at the same time, you can run a legitimate demon hunter exorcism campaign where you are identifying possessing spirits that are latching on to prominent figures or people with influence or political leaders or military leaders, and take the duty of purging the evil from them without necessarily destroying that person's reputation in the process. So it can be delicate work, which is a fun type of campaign. There. A decent little sword. No zealotry. Yeah, I call them Silver Flame, but you can't really label them with any, like they can't have like regalia or tattoos or anything like that. They have to be unmarked so that they don't immediately cause an incident if they're captured in Karnath. There we go. So in that sense, they could be anybody. But we know the truth of it. The irony of them concealing their own identity while trying to rout out. That sort of looks a little bent. There we go. That is, that feels like it's too aloft. Let's bring that in. That feels maybe a little bit more natural. His arm was just overextended for no reason. I'll put that in there like that. Take this. Now we can push the curve on. Oh, we can. Come on. Give me a spin. Thank you. That feels decent. Let's drop the opacity on that a little bit. Let's grab this arm here and let's compress it. Free transform. That'll give it, yeah, that's the angle. This is more like the angle that I wanted. So let's flesh out this bicep here a little bit. Get that foreshortening correct so you can see more top side of the shoulders. Instead of being face on, I want to have it more of a drop down, which means I want to tilt where the head is at. There we go. Got to lean into it, like literally leaning into it. My mouse stopped working yesterday. The button stopped having, like, the spring inside of the left button broke. So I could only right click and I couldn't left click. Luckily, I live 5 minutes away from a Best Buy. So I just hoofed on over and picked up a new piece of tech, and now my mouse is right as rain. I am blessed that I am so many useful resources are located so close to where I live. Yeah, let's bring that in a bit. So I've got a flashy new mouse I'm excited about. It doesn't make any noise when it clicks. It's I can see the good of it, but it also it's like, are you working? Yes, you're working, because I can see things clicking, but I can't hear anything clicking. So it just feels, I'm so used to the sound of mouse clicks. It's something I've lived with for decades, and it goes silent and makes me concerned about the world. Only my keyboard clacking can comfort me now. There we go. So yeah, we're doing some character art here, getting these things built out. Let's get that in here. That feels like a decent position. I want to keep that. I want to keep that lean going. Yeah. Take the shield. We can pull the shield away a little bit. That allows us to extend the arm a little. Free transform to give that a twist. Yeah, we'll go like that. I like that. I think that I like that stance. I think that works. I kind of want to have that leg receding a little bit, though. Pull that back. I gotta figure out the anatomy on this leg. Hold on. I'm gonna cut that away. Sorry, buddy. You got stumped. Bring this down here. I think that's the angle that we want, like this. There we go. Okay, this will work. And once we get once we get them armored up a little bit, it won't matter so much. But you got to get the anatomy. The anatomy has to work on the underlying structure for the armor to work properly. So you can't really chintz. You can't chintz on the frame, you know. And I don't know exactly what the armor is going to look like, so I don't want to chintz on the anatomy either during the process. But here is his leg, and then give him a bit of a crook there like that. And then we can zoom in on the entire thing. So I don't have to worry about. Just like in comic books, you cut off the feet. so that you don't have to worry about mincing on those details. That also lets me skew and grab here, so I can free transform. And let's distort real quick so we can bend that to where we need it to be. There we go. That should be okay. I'm going to angle this one a little bit. Perspective. And now I'm going to warp it a smidge, free transform to bubble it, warp. There. Just a little bit of a lift, just to give it some curve. And then we can rebuild that curve here. There we go. Lean into it, buddy. Tilt off here. Thank you, Timely Timer. That's my 20-minute timer, keeping track for us. Now we're going to be back on later on today to work on both Bard and Barbarian subclasses for Spelljammer. I am very much looking forward to that. Ooh, here's an opportunity for me to free transform and then hit this with perspective as well. Free transform. Okay, that feels appropriate. Let's take all of this here and then free transform just to give it a bit of a bend. And squish it in a smidge. Free transform. Free transform. Give that a twist. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. Yeah. So let's clean up this leg just a smidge, and then we'll move on to the next piece. So we're building the rough sketch for each of the characters, and then we go back through and detail them. So we're sequencing them all together, just to prevent us from hyperfixating on one over another, so that they end up being out of balance. I want to make sure that they have the same level of quality and detail, and I gotta twist that torso a little bit better now. Block that in, bring that round. Rib cage in place. There. Yeah, that actually feels pretty good now. There. You change the angle on his lower body, and it's going to naturally affect the balance on the upper part of the body. Actually, I think I can make this sword swing out some. That feels okay. That feels really natural. That in here, and bring the sword down to here. There we go. Thicken this leg up a bit down here. A little bit more bulk and we'll be good. I actually like that bend. It's fun. There we go. Let's take all of that and shift it, free transform, tilt just a smidge. Rib cage to here, hand down to here. Cool. Okay, cool. That guy looks good enough. He's an NPC. He doesn't have to be too epic, but he's fair game here. I think that's good. So let's drop away that we don't need. Let's drop that all into the trash. 1 potato, 2 potato. Okay, so far so good. So what? Axeman. Let's actually, I feel like I want to work on the rogue for a few. So we got an archer, we got a sword and board, we got an axeman, and then we've got a nimble thief. Blade and let's curve it out a little bit. Drop it down. To be more of a short sword. Yeah, okay. Let's go with that, and let's get our let's redo it. Here, and then here, and then bring this over here like that. Oh, that's going to feel good. Let's bring this head over here a little bit more. Down to here. Ah, I like this pose. Better. Much better. Better energy. Let's keep shifting that head around so we can change the orientation. There. Bring that out here like that. Get that leg out here. Kick it. And then this leg here. Bring it forward. Nice. That's starting to feel like a really good stance. I could bring this in a bit here. Free transform. Actually, I want to take this blade and turn it out a little bit. Here's a rib cage here, which means that's where the elbow should be at here. Which means we bring down the arm like this. There we go. Gotta thin those legs up a bit. There we go. Decent. Bring that leg in a little bit here. There. Kneecap, kneecap, kneecap. Yeah, no real gripe here. Let's get that arm cleaned up. Clean up that enemy there. Grab this arm here. Let's pull it forward a little. I'm losing the energy on this character. It's dissipating. So I need to rewind this back a bit. I think having the arm in close to the body here is actually powering a lot of the kinetic energy pushing towards the camera. So I need to keep that arm in alignment. Without squishing the frame. Here, let's turn this in a bit. Free transform. That arm needs to be longer. There, and now we can do this, and we can free transform, foreshorten the blade, so it pushes more towards you, and then let's try this again. Let's try bending this away from the body. Let's grab here, like that. Then here. Twist. Free transform. Let's pull this arm in here a little snidge. Take all that. Let's bring it in. feel like. Okay, so let's first get this main arm resolved. So I need more foreshortening to have it bending towards us a little bit more here, and then bring down the hand to here. Doing little spirals like this helps foreshortening a lot by creating the form and the tube that your arm is, you know. So we can get that to there, and then we can take this blade separately, overlay it, and then pull it forward, drop it down, and then perspective, broaden it a bit, tilt, for transform. Like that. Got a real sort of squish going on here. So let's free transform and let's squish it forward a bit with perspective. There we go. This comes down to here. That's the pepper. Found it. Found it. We're good. I feel like, yeah, let's work on this arm real quick. I'm gonna bend this head around. That's my timer to make sure I'm staying on track. It's 7:15 here in Seattle, so I've got another 40 minutes left. We can mess around. We can at least get the frames done for these guys. And then start worrying about details. Free transform is just twisted a smidge. Like that. Free transform just a bit more. Build out this arm here like this. Nah, I can leave that be. Let's grab this here and let's free transform. Let's squish that in a bit and then perspective to flare out the legs a little bit more. Free transform. A bit of a twist. That's cool. I like that. Let's free transform. Let's flip that. Yeah, that one looks weird. It kind of looks natural, like drawing, as in like unsheathing. I kind of like that idea, but I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna duplicate that layer. Let it sit. Let's work on that a little bit differently. Let's preserve that for reference. Let's grab this, tilt it down. There. And now we need to make sure we have this twist in here. Kind of across here, and then perspective to lean it in. Free transform, perspective. Give it a little bit of a twist. Oh, I kind of like that. Let's take that arm, bend it out a bit. That'll work. Just thin him down so he fits the role. Not too bulky. Let's go with here and free transform. A bit of a squish. Free transform. Bring that down a smidge here. Let's merge all these down. There. And then here. Bring this down to a point here. There we go. There, my tools are acting weird. Especially on the keyboard, I keep trying to hit select tool and it ends up being an eraser or a brush tool. I don't understand why that happens. It's a little weird. A little bassinet there. And after all of that, I feel like I've completely killed the momentum on the character. It went from feeling pretty dynamic to fairly lifeless pretty quickly. That's unfortunate. So, having said all that, let's fucking try it again. I don't mind screwing up in front of everybody. How the hell else am I supposed to get good? So let's get good. We're gonna go to here and let's go like this, and then let's get some tilt going into this body here. Now that I know how lifeless I can make him feel, let's see if I can breathe some actual life into him. There you go, you bastard. Nice. Where were you 5 minutes ago? 20 minutes ago? You hadn't arrived yet. I just had to distract myself with some bullshit while something decent was on the way. See, I keep... There we go. Nice. No, I want to keep that. I want to keep that extension there. That's adding energy to the pose. So it needs to stay extended. Yeah, I like that. And there's that receding leg that I wanted. Bring that in a smidge there. Need a little bit more. Damn it. Damn it. I keep trying to hit the select tool, and it keeps ending up being a brush. I'm like, what the hell is going on with that? Let's give that a twist. I can't mess with that angle too hard, otherwise it's going to kill a lot of the momentum. A lot of the energy is inside of this arm being... I'm going to take this back as I'm losing it. There. Anatomy is the worst thing for gesturing. Trying to be accurate with I can get a kinetic pose, but once I start building in realistic anatomy, it tends to kill the energy. See, I hit the... There we go. Bring that in a bit. That'll help. Hmm. Kind of like where that's going. I like that extension. He's got this kind of like fadeaway sort of feeling to him, which I think is appropriate for a roguelike. Let's get that out of here for a second. Now I kind of want to have him kukri. What if I were to flip this horizontal? No, don't like how that changes. There like that and like that. I think this needs to free transform, perspective. There. Get that arm out to here. Neat. Bring that in. There and here. Here we go. Cool. Okay, that works. I am content with that. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. I got a definite right angle going on here. Like everyone's looking to the right. And X-Man. Let's go ahead and go with this one. See what kind of a pose we can pull out of this. What time is it? 7:30. We got 20 minutes left. We can get this. We can get this one resolved before the day ends, and then we'll be back Monday through Friday. We do artwork like this in the morning, and then Tuesday and Friday at lunchtime, including today, as well as Monday and Thursday night. Like last night, we do game design for the books that we'll eventually illustrate. Bring that up. Take that down. And right now we're working on updating Spelljammer for 2020 for the 2024 rules. Thick arms. So we'll work on Barbarian and Bard subclasses for Spelljammer today. And then Monday when we come back, do more of this in the morning. And then in the evening, we finished the equipment and ship mechanics last night. We'll work on... combat will probably require Monday and Thursday next week. Possibly... It's 36 pages, and what we're doing is just looking at where are the changes to the mechanics that we have in the book that we already created, and how is it updated to use the 2024 rules. Nope, not feeling that. Not feeling that. Let's stick with the pose that we're working on. Let's go with this. Let's finish the axe, and then we'll figure out how he's gonna hold it, or rather, how he's gonna carry his weight. Yeah, that ain't no lumberjack's axe. That is professional chop chop. Thank you, Tally Timer. 20 minutes left on the block. Let's take this and let's free transform, and first we'll skew it a free transform. We'll skew it a smidge, and then perspective. And then free transform some more to flatten it. Axe be gone. And let's drop the anatomy back in. I like that. I like that haft. I like how that's sitting. I like this angle. Let's see if I can keep that somehow. There. Let's bring this arm out like this. Axes are cool. I just think they're cool. I've always been a fan of battle axes. Chop. Yeah, once we finish converting Spelljammer into 2025, we can start building out maps and tokens and details and stuff for the Storm King's Thunder campaign, and then we'll be able to go revisit the Mecha Kaiju mechanics to make sure that those will be scalable and will work for the team. go, matey. Let's give that fist a twist. Free transform. Right where the axe is supposed to be. So let's take the whole thing and free transform, bring it in a bit. No, I want that neck thick. Just a big old meathead. Actually, good point. I'm going to bring that axe forward a bit. Now, how about we lean into it a little bit? That layer before I make any regrets. And clean up that anatomy down there on that leg. There we go. Oh, that feels good. Thicken that up a smidge. There we go. All right, this is the point where I start adjusting the anatomy and potentially kill the energy of the pose. So I have to be mindful of lines and energy that's moving. There. That feels good. You kind of have like this bell bottom idea going on with this guy. I don't know if bell bottoms were ever a thing in Eberron, but I'm thinking about it. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. We need to get that under control. There. And this is just a basic token. It's not even. It's just NPCs that may or may not even be needed in the game, depending on how the what characters the DM wants to introduce. But that's the point, is having it be more of a toolbox than just a flat linear adventure for the DM to basically make the thing do what he needs it to do for the campaign that he's already running, or to be able to present a number of interesting options to create one-shots with. There, that feels pretty good there. Thicken that up a smidge. And I'm almost done for the day. Ooh, I have an opportunity here to give this a tilt. So I'm going to give that a little bit of a tilt. Bring this up here like that. Foreshortening's a bitch in poses. But if I can get it right, it looks pretty good. Like Sammy Hagar, there's only one way to rock, and when he figures out, he's going to make a lot of money. Yeah, I think I'm good with that. So now we can start. Now that we have the 4 characters, we can start fleshing them out. Add in and start picking out some details. My day is almost done here, but that looks pretty good. And then we have here a little thiefly guy and sword and board and archer. Gotta say, this guy's looking the weakest. This guy, I think he could use some work. Pitter patter. Let's thicken that up a bit. Bring that in. Feels a little bit more controlled. There we go. That leg is overextended. I don't know. Maybe I don't like that pose. I love this one. I like the Axemen now a lot too. This guy and this guy still feel pretty weak to me. But it's also 7:48. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pause here. I'll probably end up messing around with the anatomy on these guys a little bit more. Let's bring that arm in. Let's see if I can... Let's try skew. No, the problem is the shoulders are too square. Let's get that like that. What is it? 8 o'clock. So in about 6.5 hours, around 2:30 Seattle time. It's 8 o'clock-ish now. 6.5 hours. We'll be back on to build out subclasses, Spelljammer subclasses for Barbarian and Bard. And then we'll be back on Monday to continue character art. And then Monday night, we'll be on to convert the Spelljammer mechanics to the 5e24 rules. like that a lot. And free transform here. Let's see if we can make this work. Damn it. Reselect, thank you. Free transform. I'm going to duplicate this before I have any additional regret. Hey, that's looking right. Here we go. Bring that in. I'm gonna hit save real quick. Something went clackety clackety. I don't know what the hell that's all about. Are we still up and running? Hold on. Yeah, okay, we're still doing good. My router started making clicky sounds. I'm like, did I just lose signal or what? Nope. Apparently it's just clacking around. That's better. It's not 100% yet, though. It's definitely in the direction I want to go. Let's get that leg under control. I feel like this here needs to free transform. Merge that down. Hey, we're finding something here. This is cool. For transform, I'm going to bend that up a bit. There we go. Now, can we It's a decent NPC generic pose, I think. I'm pretty happy with that. Not very complicated, but doesn't have to be. I have to be careful about. Let's broaden that a bit. Free transform. Give it a bit of a twist. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and cut it there for now. I said we're going to cut it there for now. Thank you, timer. Let's take that back before... Cut them off at the knees. That feels good. All right. Well, I don't hate this. This one needs improvements. This one I love. This one I'm loving. This one is feeling pretty static still, but I like the pose. I feel like it has a place. It's maybe not here. Let's grab that. Just tuck it in a smidge. Yeah, it's lacking. It's lacking dynamic. It's not dynamic enough. Okay, we're gonna have to keep working on these. Oh well. Sometimes we run into complications, and that's what art is all about: is having a problem and figuring out a way to solve that problem. And that's where the pride comes in, of doing a job well done. So we're gonna let this. We're gonna let these guys sit here for now. We're gonna come back and work on them some more. We'll probably let these sit for the weekend and then come back and tackle this. We're gonna let Muse kind of stir around and find poses for the sword and board and our dual wielder. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and cut stream. I'll be back in about 6.5 hours to work on Spelljammer subclasses. And we got some martial power mega dungeon play testing on my Discord this weekend. Hopefully we get enough people gathered up to be able to run a dungeon and do some mechanics testing. And but that's it for now. So thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out with me. Hornetico, Foxy, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for being around. Anyone else that's been streaming through, I'm here 9 times per week. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. And I hope to see some of you guys in the future as well. See you on the other side. Cheers.